Welcome to the New IT Podcast, where we dive into the future of staffing technology professionals, where it is, where it's going, and what to expect. I'm Bobby Glen James, owner of BoTecha IT Services, and I've been hiring and firing IT for over 20 years.
And I'm Brad Anderson, owner of TechBridge, where I find the talent Bobby gets to hire and fire. Learn what companies are looking for, how you can stand out, and get your next dream job. And if you're hiring, learn how to retain top talent in the market.
Welcome to the New IT, people. If you're out there in the industry, in the IT industry, and you're wondering where to go from here or which direction to go, or you're a hiring manager and you're just not sure about the right IT person, individual, their expertise, do they have, what do you need? I'm here with Brad. What's your last name, dude?
Anderson.
Okay, Mr. Anderson.
Right?
Now I can remember it.
Exactly.
I
get that quite a bit. Especially in the IT world.
Oh, yeah, they get it, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Mr. Anderson. All right, I love it. Yeah. I'm geeky enough.
Exactly.
Enough. I could even tell a story about when I first saw that movie. But anyway, no, I digress.
You know, I'm right there with you. I remember waiting in line just to see The
Matrix?
Yeah, I want to say episode 2 if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I will tell you, this is kind of pathetic, but the first Matrix. So I worked in a call center in a tech company.
Okay.
And I was a support call center guy, and we had hacked all of the servers at this company. Oh, the IT people there, I feel so sad for them. And we had hacked a part of one of the servers and downloaded all these movies onto the network from this company. It's so bad, dude. We were horrible. We were just a bunch of hackers just in that world. And the first time I watched that movie was on my little tube TV in my cubicle.
Nice.
There is no other better way to watch The Matrix for the first time, dude.
Not at all.
I was sitting
awesome.
there, oh my gosh, because I'd quit work, so I was just sitting there I watched for 2 hours, just sitting there. I wasn't on the phone or anything. Dude, I was blown away by that movie. Anyway,
that's awesome.
Wow.
That's a great story.
So we're learning this, the new IT. So why are we calling it the new IT? Brad, what's going on with this new IT thing? What are we talking about?
So what we've seen is the industry's changing, and it's changing because companies are looking for project-based work more now more than ever. So you're starting to see IT change in the fact that companies don't just want that one person to be on their payroll. They're looking for somebody who can come in, get the job done, lower their costs, and then be able to go from there.
Do you see that as the future? I mean, that is the future of IT, that it's going to be more outsourced than anything else. Is there still going to be a job there for the IT guy to go to a company and work for them?
Yes, I think there will be, but I think it's going to be dramatically different. I think it's going to evolve to the point to where roles like what they're doing in California, how they're already accommodating the consultant and making sure that they are technically still part of the company. that they're working for. So
we're going to see this hybrid. I guarantee
Exactly.
it. This hybrid where they are, but they aren't. For the benefits of the company. I mean, let's face it. If you've been in IT for very long, you understand that there's high levels of stress, and then there's nothing going on. You know, there's not, and you want to pay for that high level of stress, but it's hard to pay when there's nothing going on, and the IT guy just sits there twiddling their thumb, and they're figuring out the next RPG to play or whatever.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So and the new IT specifically too in my world is, you know, the days of the really smart, rude ass jerk. Those days are numbered because IT is changing. And we can't just have some really smart guy in the corner in the dark anymore. There's too much integration with what's really going on with your company. Don't you think? Is that what you've seen?
Oh, absolutely. I think soft skills matter now more than they ever have. Typically, you think of an IT person, and you think of somebody who's very introverted, who keeps to themselves. Companies are evolving to the point where they don't want that anymore. They want people who are engaging. No matter what company you work for, they're looking for that person to say, you know what, I can contribute, I understand, not just, here, let me fix your stuff and be on my way. No, they want to engage. They want you to be part of the company. They want you to have that company culture and those values that they share because they're in a shared mission. And they want you along that path.
I've asked you before, and I've told you before, I think, oh, crap. I had a question, and I hate that it just shot right out of my brain. I was right in the middle of saying it, and gosh, I talked to you about this before, and now I can't remember what it was. Okay, well, we'll cut that part out.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust me, I do that all the time.
Darn it, I'm getting older. That's all I got to say. So why do people want to listen to this show specifically? What do you think? What are we with the new IT? What are we getting at here? Why should people listen?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing of why they want to listen is because we're here to give a better understanding of what it is in the new IT, what it's supposed to look like. Whether you're a client looking to hire the talent or whether you're a candidate looking to grow your career.
That's important, that it's these two. Both sides should be listening.
Absolutely.
Because we're going over both sides. And to kind of back up a little bit, to give a little bit of background between the two of us so they can understand, you come from that client side. You're headhunter, for lack of a better word. Can
Absolutely.
I call you a headhunter?
No, you can.
You're that guy that I loved getting calls from so I could get options and ideas. So, and I come from the IT side of hiring and being a part of IT for over 25 years. I've seen a lot of IT and a lot of headhunters and a lot of hiring and firing and what's good, what doesn't, and we both kind of run into those things together. I think we know a lot about both of our sides, so we just feel like it's this perfect match to talk about the new IT.
No, absolutely, and more than ever, I mean, like as IT evolves, you're starting to see these companies where recruiters are getting in contact with people because there is such a need. Right now, there are more IT jobs in the industry than there are people. So it's only a matter of time that things are changing, and that's why they're changing.
How does a client deal with that? How does a potential client deal with the fact that there's not enough people to fill the jobs? What's a client? What does a client do?
Well, there's not much they can do other than try to
pay
find
more
the talent.
Pay more money?
Absolutely. So, in terms of paying more money, I mean, you deal with IT staff now. They know their value. So if they know that they're getting overworked and underpaid, they're going to be quick to leave your company. So that's where from that side, it's so important to create that culture where they feel valued and they want to be there. So the only thing that a company can do is to try to accommodate them. So you want to try to help educate them. You want to try to help give them perks that are outside of the normal. Give them better working hours. Let them work from home. These are all things that clients can do. So
it isn't just about money.
No, absolutely.
Never. Guys, from a client standpoint that's hiring an IT person, money only goes so far. And the perks, man, the perks are big. Even if that means working from home half time, geez, for an IT guy, a lot of times that's a huge deal.
Oh, absolutely. Quite honestly, I have some candidates that will refuse to even go into the office. They're only looking for fully remote positions.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's
more
going.
Now than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And now we realize, people can actually work and do a lot of work. I remember 15 years ago, we used to say, dude, I could do all this from home, man. Why do I actually have to come here? I'm doing all of this remote work anyway because all the servers and everything are remote, yet I have to come in and sit in this stupid cubicle. And now we get it. Yeah. You don't have to be there anymore.
That is one of the good and one of the blessings that came out of the pandemic is remote work is becoming more the norm. And quite honestly, I see a lot of companies continuing that trend going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that space.
So why do you think people are going to care about listening to this show? Why would they care?
I think we're here to give information to them that they may not understand or may not realize from a candidate perspective, we're able to give them understanding and a knowledge that what it is that they should be doing to help them grow their careers.
Yeah, and this is not a tech podcast. This isn't about all the cool tech going out there. It's an IT podcast. You would think, oh, this is a tech podcast. No. This is about the connection between the person that hire IT and the person that is an IT person, and how that meshes and how to get along, maybe how to get the best paying job you can, how to come at it from what kind of resume you should have. I mean, this is, I wish I could have listened to something like this 15, 20 years ago. 20 years ago when I got into IT, it was, or 25 years, I'm an old man now. It's been a long time. I remember going, man, I got to find, information of how to be an IT person. Not just information of technology, but just how, what is expected of me. And that's our whole vision for this show, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we want to hit on it from both aspects. Like I said, I mean, From the candidate standpoint, we want to make sure that you're understanding and you're engaging with your team or your company, because you are that valuable and you know that you're that valuable, but now we get to help you bring that out and how to shine.
And if you're a candidate or a client, and I love this, the whole vision here is, if you're a candidate, meaning an IT person looking for a job, just so that people understand the lingo, that candidate may want to understand what the client is looking for, and that's where we're gonna come at it from both sides. So if you're a potential company out there looking for IT people, if you're a potential client in that respect, then you'll know the mindset of where they're coming from. You're one step ahead. That's the vision of this show, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Awesome. Wow. Ooh, I'm getting excited. This is episode 0. I just see so much potential here and excitement and I think Brad and mine dynamic. We'll have some fun, and hopefully won't be too boring. Even you would think that an IT stuff, I mean, for us nerds, it's not boring, but you know what I mean.
No, absolutely.
Let's see. So let's talk about so maybe some of the listeners out there, IT people and clients, what do they already know about this stuff, and maybe what do they don't know? So that we're going to cover over the length of this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, we're going to touch on topics such as salaries from a client perspective. What should you be paying your staff? I mean, that's huge. I mean, obviously from a company standpoint, you don't want to overpay somebody, but at the same point, you want to make sure that you're being fair and giving them, what they deserve. So we're looking at that to be able to cover both sides. So from the client side, obviously we want to be able to say, okay, this is what the industry is looking for, and this is what you can see where you should be. Based off of somebody's skill set, this is what you should be paying them.
So what are they hearing already? What's out there right now? So if I'm a client looking for IT, I want to hire some IT people, where am I going? How am I finding information right now?
So every company's a little bit differently, but I mean, if you're looking for, let's say, a software engineer, guaranteed you either have an internal team looking for somebody, or you're looking at the job boards. Well, anybody can do that, and anybody can throw their resume up there. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's the most qualified candidate. So the best way to find a qualified candidate is to work with a recruiter. That's our job. That's what we're based off of, our reputation. We're based for getting results. So being able to work with a recruiter, they know who the hot candidates are. They know who in the industry, who you should be targeting, and they're going to find those people for you.
So from my point of view, as an IT person, and I'm looking for a job, well, I'm going to Monster, and I'm throwing my resume up on Monster, and crossing my fingers. I'm going to LinkedIn and kind of scraping through some of the stuff out there. What else is there for the actual IT guy that's looking for a job? I mean, it's pretty. You can send out hundreds of resumes and never get any thing back. Or a thank you but no thank you, or yeah, we filled the position, you suck. That it feels like that. And I'm in the industry, I own my own IT services companies, but I still put in resumes just to see what's out there and to understand the IT world. So I do that all the time. And for an IT person, it's really funky. It's you would think, you said that there's more jobs than people. I would think that, wow, well, I should put my resume out and people will come running to me. Why don't they?
Well, there's it depends on where you're putting your application. I mean, first and foremost, that's huge.
Monster and LinkedIn. Yeah. Is that crap? Is that a bad idea?
I wouldn't say it's crap, but you got to remember. I mean, when you're posting to those job boards,
thousands
of other people that are doing the exact same thing.
How are you possibly going to stand out?
Exactly. So when companies go to those sites, it's literally you're looking for a needle in a haystack. So sometimes companies have upwards of, for any job, they can have upwards of 1,000 or 2,000 candidates just for this one job. How do you differentiate yourself? How do you stand out? Well, what we do is we help you revamp your resume. So that's one way to do it. Not only that, we suggest doing video interviews. Video interviews are a new and upcoming way to stand out. You can quickly do a 60-second intro, say, hey, this is what I'm about. I would love to join your company. This is how I can see I can benefit. You just put that in your resume,
a link to your video.
Yep.
Ooh, I can see that would have a lot of value.
And it does.
You can kind of see, you can get a lot more than just a resume. Wow.
Yep.
If I was a recruiter or something, I would click on that probably.
Absolutely. And that's what we encourage all
until
our
everybody's
candidates.
doing it.
Exactly.
Oh, cool. Let's see. I'm just going off of our little script here.
Yep.
So the big thing is we want the listener to understand where they stand in the IT world, right? And what does that look like for the IT person or the potential client looking for the IT person? Where do they stand in this world right now? How do they maybe get a little above everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, standing out. It's really going to come down to your soft skills. No matter what your knowledge or skill set is, it's going to be how do you relate to somebody through the interview process. It's a personal touch. It's how are you communicating with somebody?
We're back to that again.
Exactly.
The days of being an idiot in interpersonal skills is gone.
Absolutely. And it's not what you know, but it's how you present what you know.
Ooh.
And that's the big thing, and that's the takeaway that I want candidates to understand is being able to tout that, yes, you have these skills, yes, you can do this, yes, you've had this many years of experience. Those days of just relying solely on what you know are gone. It's more about how do you present it? How do you get along with team members? How are you going to contribute? That's really what companies look for, and that's the big thing.
And can I ask, from a client perspective, how do they see through the crap of that person? How do you, if you teach them, okay, you know, it's how you say it and do it. Now, how does the potential client figure out if these people are a good fit? Is there something that you would suggest or a way to make sure that they're better than they? You know, first impressions are crazy.
Absolutely. What we suggest is we have them do a strengths finder test, and that's going to measure 20 different attributes to say this candidate is capable of doing this. That allows us to be able to say, okay, we know what his strengths and his weaknesses are. Now we can help him understand how to bring out the things that he needs to bring up. Now we can work with him on that. Now we can help him understand that. So when we present him to the client, we understand and we know what they're looking for, so we can best match and pair them together.
Ooh, I like that. If you're not familiar with StrengthsFinder, is it strengthsfinder2.0.com or something like that?
Yeah.
Just look up StrengthsFinder 2.0, which is a very powerful tool for each individual person to kind of understand their strengths and how to use those strengths. I love that you brought that up. And for a client, so you would say, hey, you would give them that before you'd ever interview them, like in a position that way. Is that a part of the resume sifter, or
it is? So we don't give that
part.
Yeah, exactly. So we want them to just interview. We don't want to sell anybody short. So
right.
we're going to find the best possible candidates. We're going to submit them. If they choose to interview with them and they like them, that's when we'll introduce their profile from StrengthsFinder and say, okay, here's what we've been able to find for them. Here you go. Here's a little bit of insight about this.
So they don't go blind. They kind of know more than just a resume.
Exactly.
They have a lot more to go on than just, I've got this many years of this much experience. And
Exactly.
I've got this much schooling and this many certifications. You do it a little more deeper because the new IT says you have to have interpersonal skills.
Absolutely.
The new IT says you need to match the culture of the company you're going to. The days of being whatever you want in a dark corner are over. The new IT, you have to play the corporate game. You do. If you want to be in the corporate world, you have to play the corporate game, guys. I'm sorry, you IT folks that are these hermity crazy people, you're going to have a really, really hard time in the future.
Well, and I don't even think it's just from a corporate standpoint. I think you're even seeing startups who are saying, you need to understand more about me. We have enough technology out there that regardless, if you get an interview, you should already know something about the company. You need to be able to put your best foot forward and say, I've done my homework. I know about this company. I know what their expectations are. I know what they do, and understand from that standpoint of you can come in and you want to ask questions. You want to get to know if you could be a good fit for that company as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't happen. You want to get to that point and understand beforehand to say, okay, well, maybe this isn't the right company for me.
Yeah. It's their baby. I mean, and they would like somebody that's engaged and interested in their baby to be a part of the group. And
exactly.
It's interesting how we don't think about when we go into an interview or something. It dumbfounds me how many people don't think about, hey guys, you should really want to be a part of this company. If it doesn't look like you are and you're kind of playing hard to get or whatever, dude, I wouldn't waste my time with you.
Right. And that's one of the first questions that I ask somebody when I interview them. Just I want to know what do they know about TechBridge? What do you know about us? How did you find us? Yeah. That's telling me if they've done their homework or not, or if they know that, oh, I'm savvy enough to be able to say, oh, well, you guys are this, you guys are that. That tells me, oh, okay, he's smart enough, or this candidate is smart enough to be able to say, I get it.
That drives me nuts. So I've done my share of hiring IT, a lot of hiring IT, and I am dumbfounded when I get the obvious chain letter thing that hey, I'm interested in your position or whatever. It's like, dude, if you didn't take 3 minutes to write something that shows me that you're actually read anything about the position, and some of them, they're like so off, it's like, my hell, did you just like spit to did you have some kind of an automated thing that just spitted to anything and everything out there? I do not give those even 3 seconds of thought. If you can't put 2 sentences of, your company does this and I'm really interested in that, or this position is perfectly what I'm looking for, the blah, blah, blah position, because I've done this in the past and it really connects with what I'm doing. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that?
No.
I know for me, dude, it's a game changer. When they're excited about my position, dude, I'm excited about talking to them.
And that's exactly it. I mean, more than anything else, I mean, if you have one resume and you're relying solely on one resume, those days are gone. You can't do that. You need to have 3 or 4 or 5 different resumes for whatever job you want to go after, and you need to tailor it to that. But that's the joy of technology nowadays, as we kind of talked about. Being able to do a video you don't have to rely on just having 3 or 4 or 5 different resumes anymore. If you can show your personality in a 60-second video and say, hey, I think I would be a great fit for this position because I have X, Y, and Z skills, and I see that this is what you're looking for. I think that this could be a good match between you and I. I can envision myself being here long term. I want to grow with you guys.
I want to talk to that person.
Absolutely.
I would have a communication with that individual. It's funny because these things just put you just a little bit above everybody else. And I say this a lot, but I love that saying, and I know it's kind of morbid, but I love the saying, if two people are running and there's a bear after you, I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have to outrun you.
Absolutely.
Right?
No, absolutely. And that's so true. I mean, we're in an environment.
One little bitty thing could put you right past into the
Absolutely.
limelight.
Well, and that's just it. Is I mean, with having so many jobs open right now, you do have to set yourself out. Yes, it is a candidate-driven market. However, if you want that pristine job, you do have to separate yourself, and you do have to differentiate yourself.
And take a little time to do that. And don't
Absolutely.
get automated. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I get it that you want to just shotgun everything and see what comes back. But it's a waste. I mean, it's still a waste of time if you get zero from it.
Yep.
Just take 2 seconds to do just a little bit to make it look like you're actually interested in that position.
100% agree.
It's not hard.
Yep.
Is there something else they can do? I mean, I've heard a lot of stories about, calling the company, trying to, so when you know they're hiring, you like call the company and try and find the person that's hiring and kind of squeeze in without doing resume stuff. How do you feel about that? Is that, I mean, you hear all kind. I've heard everything. I've heard everything when it comes to trying to find a job in the IT market. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little pushy.
It is a little bit pushy, and you risk jeopardizing your reputation with that person.
Yeah.
We live in a society now where social media is in our everyday lives. So if you can upset somebody, who's to say they don't put out a tweet or put out a post on LinkedIn just saying, you know what, I had a bad interaction with a candidate. This is what not to do. So again, they're not going to shame you or they're not going to call you out by name.
Probably.
But just being able to have that understanding of you don't want to be too pushy and how it can backfire on you.
So is there a way to stand out above the stack of resumes?
Yes. I mean, I think the biggest thing that's to stand out is just to be able to be authentic, be yourself, show who you are, show how you can contribute to the company and what you bring to the table.
And have your resume actually fit the position.
Absolutely.
That dumbfounds me. I am always dumbfounded when I get a resume that there's nothing on there that connects with the job.
It's
why
funny.
in the hell did you send this? That was useless. And I wasted my time reading it.
Yep.
And usually I'll read the whole thing because I'm like, there's got to be something on here somewhere.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because, I mean, I see people all the time submit to jobs and it's like, what the hell are you thinking? Where do you have IT experience? I'm looking for a software engineer, but you're like in customer service and you think that this works?
You're ready for the transition.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Maybe you got a cert though. They took a cert class and they got a. Oh, that, yeah. Oh man, this is exciting because there's so much stuff that we could talk about that we're going to talk about. And this is episode 0. This is kind of just getting to know and understand what the new IT podcast is all about with Brad Anderson and Bobby Glen James. And we're going to have some fun talking about this stuff. And maybe in the future, we'll interview some potential clients and IT people and do all kinds of fun stuff to kind of see the journey of becoming or hiring IT. So I think it's going to be fun. It's exciting.
No, it is. I mean, I'm excited to see where this goes. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential, as you said. I think we can just continue to make this grow and create awareness, not only from a client perspective, but from a candidate perspective. How do you differentiate yourself from everybody else? How do you stand out? What sort of skills do you need for certain jobs? Those are all the things that we're going to cover.
Yeah, I love it. What's our main goal, you think? What's the main goal for this new IT podcast? What's our... Why are we doing this exactly?
So I would say from a client perspective, I would say to bridge the gap between company, the talent you need, and... How do I want to put that? I'll probably rephrase that. I would like to help bridge the gap between the talent that companies need and the talent itself because
there is
a disparity.
Yeah.
And we need to fill that gap. More than anything else, I want to be able to help people find jobs. I want to be able to help them grow their careers. I want to help them grow as people and continue down that path of personal growth. So being able to help them, that's my personal goal.
That's awesome. And I've being in IT, the 25 years, however long I've been doing this, I've lost count. It's been amazing for me. It was, I was going to be a rock star before. So IT has been really good to me. I have made a great living. I've met amazing human beings. I've been a part of amazing companies. And I am just humbled by how I found IT and became a part of that industry. And I know we talked about it. It may be cliche, but I do want to give back, and I do want to kind of assist those out there that when I was 20 years ago curious of how to run the gamut of this, and in 20 years ago it was a whole lot different space.
Oh, absolutely.
A whole in some ways easier, I think, than now. Now there's so much now and so big in technology, and we're all so crammed together with social media that standing out is harder than it's ever been.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, cool. This is awesome. Episode 0.
Absolutely,
What do you think? Should we wrap up episode 0? I mean, we don't want to spill our beans on everything. Through we've got a lot of stuff to cover, folks. So if again this podcast is the new IT, this is us looking at the new frame of the IT world, and we really believe it's coming from a recruiter standpoint and from an IT individual standpoint. So we've got this dynamic of understanding what potential clients who want IT people and IT people that want jobs. This is kind of our mesh to open up and kind of understand that whole world.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and like you said, I mean, it's just about giving back and giving something to the community where they can use it. Yep. Whether you're a client, whether you're a candidate, something to be able to help you down that path.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. Thanks, guys, for listening to the new IT. Stay tuned for some more. I'm not sure. I don't know how to end it.
I know. I'm right there with